All right, welcome to the Next Fitness Show, episode 104, I think. I'm Alexis Craig, and I am here live right now. I'm in California, and I'm so glad to see you here today. Thank you for jumping in and joining us here on the show. Today, we are getting controversial. So, we're going to go through controversial exercises, and I'm going to give my personal opinion on each of them, give you some suggestions around them, and we will basically say if it's underrated, is it overrated, or is kind of a misunderstood exercise. This is a production of The Next Fitness Thing. If you are not already a part of our team, I encourage you to go to thenextfitnessthing.com or find us on social. All of our socials are The Next Fitness Thing, except TikTok's just Next Fitness Thing. And we are a wellness platform online. We have all kinds of classes, and a lot of them are live. So, speaking of live, if you are here right now live, please say hi. So go down into the chat and say hey so I know who's here. We already have a great crew in here saying hi. So far, Erin says hello, Carol says hello. My mom's here and says she's ready to learn more fun exercise and health practices. And Megan saying hello there. Donna D says happy Friday. All right, there's actually a lot more people in here than that. So if you're here, say hi so I know that you're here. All right, so today I'm getting experimental. I've been doing this kind of in our classes as well, but here we go. First of all, we're talking about questionable workout moves. All right, if you already have a workout move that you think is questionable, I want to know what it is. Do you have like a nemesis move? Do you have a move where you're kind of like, why are we even still doing this? Don't we understand that this is like not a good idea to do this move? I would love to know if you personally have a move that you would consider to be questionable. Here, I'm trying something new. Let's try there. Let's try this. Okay. Boom. Check it out. I'm on the same screen. I'm playing with this right now. Okay. Do you have a move that you would already consider to be questionable? I would love to know what that is. Drop it in the chat. All right. So let's start off with this obvious one. I think this is the move you already see on your screen. Okay, each move we're gonna go through. Is it outdated, meaning it used to be considered good, but now not anymore? Is it underrated? Like maybe it gets a bad rap and people are thinking like, oh, this isn't a good move, but actually maybe it is good. And then there's also kind of like depends. And I'm actually gonna put misunderstood if that's what it is. Okay, so let's talk about lat pull down behind the head. Have you tried this move? It's not something we usually do in our Next Fitness Thing classes. You wouldn't probably do this at home. This is like you're at the gym. They have the lat pull down machine. So it's the weights, there's like a weight stack, and usually there's a cable, and then you do lat pull downs. And it used to be pretty much the way that you were taught to do this is you pull it down behind your head. Have you ever tried that? Now, I picked this one, and I especially picked this one to go first because I think this is one of the most, I don't know, undisputed ones. There's definitely still people doing this move. Don't get me wrong. Especially in my experience, I was introduced to this move through someone who is a bodybuilding trainer. They specifically want to do it in this way because they want to target their lat muscles in a very specific way to hit a really, specific part of their muscles. Aaron's in here and says, yep, did it in high school. Totally, totally. Okay, so I would say this is outdated, and I don't even think this is controversial. I've definitely heard from both like physical therapists and chiropractors, both online and in person, telling me that this can lead to issues with your spine. Now, it can lead to issues with your neck where you're going to end up having like a neck problem. It also can lead to, just a more kyphotic posture, meaning like a hunchback posture. All of us are have a tendency to have this rounded over posture anyway, especially because we're looking at our phones down here all the time and we're looking at computers and all of that. So we're trying to avoid this kind of hunched over posture. And generally, whatever position you're in when you're building strength is the posture you're building into your body. So doing strength training where you're actually encouraging leaning forward like that, I would say no, don't, it's not worth it. Not worth it. So I would suggest it's not that big of a change. Just instead of pulling it down behind your head, you pull it down in front of your head. It's not that big of a difference. The biggest reason not to do this is because a lot of people, I see this at the gym all the time, is people will lean back. So then if they're doing it in front, instead of still making it so they're pulling straight down, like in the frontal plane straight down, they're leaning back and turning it into a row, which is going to involve more rhomboids and less lats. So you still want to sit up straight or stand or whatever, kneel. I've seen a lot of versions of this kind of machine, right? Well, however your posture is, you still want to be vertical, but you pull just in front of your face instead of just behind your head. Okay. So I would say this move we solved it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I would say this one's probably it's just not worth the risk. Marissa's here. Marissa says, hi, everyone. You used to do this move too. Totally, totally. Mom says, I have done it, trying all the different pieces of equipment, and you didn't add it to your routine. In general, I will say, I do actually think that this kind of move, like just to do a lat pull down move in general, is a good idea. Like, doing training lats is really helpful because your lats connect all the way from your armpits to your lower back. So if you're looking to have your lower back be more supported, it's really helpful for that. It also helps stabilize your shoulders. So if you have issues with your shoulders, building strength into your lats is a great thing to do. So building lat strength is awesome. I love the lat pull down exercise, just not behind the head. Okay. All right, let's move on. Next one. Next one. Crunches. Okay. I feel like this one, here, let me move myself over a little bit so that you maybe just only put that on the screen. Okay, crunches. I'm sure if you work out, you probably do this one all the time, right? Crunches. Are you doing crunches all the time? I know that in our own programming, we are doing crunches all the time. Now, to be totally honest with you, when I write the workout, I almost never put crunches in the workout. I almost never. So what is your thoughts on crunches? Are they helpful? Do you think this is an effective exercise? Do you think this is a dangerous exercise? If you're a trainer, do you encourage people to do this move? If you are all about exercising, is this something that you think is like one of your go-to moves that you do all the time? Where are you with crunches? I'd love to hear. Um, okay, so here's where I am with crunches. All right. So to me, crunches is a misunderstood exercise. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt by calling it this, to be totally honest with you. We just talked about kyphosis. So check it out. Kyphosis is this rounded spine and oh, here I could do it with my arm. Okay, I'm playing with this technology here. It's this nope, it's got to go this way. Rounded spine right here, rounded, and then the head sticks out in the front, right? And you see people walking around like this all the time, and not even just older people. You see people of all ages walking around with this posture all the time. This is not the posture I personally want. It's going to lead to pain and it's over time for sure. You're going to end up with neck pain. You're going to end up with back pain. You're going to end up with all kinds of pain. And you're going to end up with this posture that is not really the posture. Like, I would like to be able to sit up and stand up straight, right? So Aaron feels neutral about crunches. All right. Here's the thing. Crunches is training kyphosis. Crunches trains kyphosis. Can you see that they are the same posture? Yeah. So Am I completely against crunches though? No. Why? Because what I would say with crunches is you do want to activate your abs. A lot of people when they do crunches are doing more like a neck thing. They're just doing neck, and they're not really activating their abs. So when I'm teaching class or if I'm leading someone in crunches, I'm generally trying to say, hey, if you're feeling this in your neck, or if you're not feeling it in your abs, I want you to reach your chin a little more to the sky. Exhale and pull your belly in so you're getting the transverse abdominis working, which is like transverse abdominis is like the corset that of abs that holds your body into your spine. And so that is a way to actually activate in crunches. And honestly, I personally think that like crunches is a move best used for deconditioned people if you can't do full range of motion. So if you are not able to do something like a sit up or a boat pose. I'm showing boat pose here as the alternative. Boat pose, the reason I like this is because you can keep a neutral spine and you're still working your abs, you're still working your core, you keep a neutral spine. The abs that crunches are working is mostly upper abs. So it's like that top two abs. It's mostly upper abs. It's not really your full rectus abdominis for the most part. So if you do a full sit up or a full roll up, like in Pilates, yes, you will be doing the full abs rectus abdominis. But if you're just doing crunches, it's only those that upper part of your abs. Is it better than nothing? Potentially, yeah. I personally think crunches are fine with the intention of building strength towards something else. Meaning, if you need to do crunches because you can't do full range of motion yet, that's fine. But I don't personally think crunches are very advantageous. If you think that you want to do a bunch of core work, you want to get abs, or you want to protect your spine, crunches are probably the last move I would put on your list. I mean, I shouldn't say last, but it's not even close to the first move I would have you do. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. If you do personal training with me, you would notice, oops, I'm messing with my screen. Ah! All right. If you do personal training with me, you would know that I basically will never give you crunches. Basically never. So I'm not really about the crunches. Don D says they hurt my neck. Exactly. Exactly. And Lisa B says, I made it. Yay, Lisa B. Awesome. So Aaron's also says, I'm on team posture. I get it. Oh, she says it's teen posture. Yeah, exactly. You're like, no, 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 oh, I got my phone or whatever. And also, it's if you don't, the other thing with the kyphotic posture is it's the posture of not having confidence, right? Because if you have confidence, you're sitting or standing up tall and your heart is open and you're in a confident posture. And if you are walking around in the world like this guy on the right does not really look. Here, let me get out of his way. The guy on the right, he doesn't really look over here. He doesn't really look like he's super confident in the way he's walking through life. He's kind of like, yeah. Aaron said we never do crunches in personal training. That's right. Mom says I'm into boats. I am into boats. I am into boats. It's true. I like boats. So I would encourage you to do boat pose instead of crunches. Okay, let's move on. Enough rambling about why I don't like crunches. Moving on. Okay, running. This is probably the most controversial one. Running. What team are you on with this? Are you on team running is the best, or are you on team just say no to running? I would love to hear what team you're on. Are you a fan of running? You will get trainers that will tell you running is where it's at, and you will also get trainers that will tell you running is the worst thing you could do for your body. So I would not say there's any consensus in the fitness industry around running. Okay, this is not like you. It's totally a matter of where you stand with this. Where I am personally with running I would call misunderstood. I'm not a huge fan of long distance running, but I also think it has a place. Okay. Aaron says you're on team survival skill only. Right. And I think that is actually the main point. Is it important to still be able to run? Yes. Right? Just for functional reasons in your life, you want to be able to run from somebody who's going to hurt you, run from the fire, whatever it is. You want to be able to run for the bus. You want to be able to run. You also want to be able to get to a place of full exertion. So, trying to move your body as fast as you possibly can, or get your heart rate up as high as you possibly can, and go for it. So, from that perspective, I think running is awesome. At the same time, running is a lot of pounding on your body. It is a lot of pounding on your body. So, people who I talk to who are physical therapists in San Francisco have told me that running is the number one reason that people go to physical therapy in San Francisco. That may or may not be true in other places where there's more people who have more physical work jobs, but running often leads to injury. Running often leads to injury. So I personally think that if you, some people just love running, and there's a lot of things that are conducive to injury. Boxing is really conducive to injury, right? I mean, I don't know. You could pick any sport like cheerleading, horseback. There's a lot of things you could get injured doing. But people love it, and so they want to do it because they love doing it. So if you love running and you want to be able to run because you love running, then you need to train so that you're safe to be able to run. You need to make sure your glute medius is super strong. You need to make sure your dorsiflexion, like the ability to flex your foot, is really, really on it. You need to make sure that you are doing mobilization for your hips. You have to make sure that your calves you're working out any adhesions that you have in your calves. You're making sure that you're building as much strength into your posterior chain as you possibly can so that your quads aren't stronger than your glutes. I mean, I could go on and on. You got to check on your Q angle. You want to make sure that you're doing squats and lunges so that and that you have good alignment so that your knee is trained to travel forward directly over your second and third toe and not. I could go on and on, okay? And I kind of just did. So, if you love running, you need to you need to train to be able to run. Otherwise, then I would encourage you to stick to walking. Now, I'm not saying you should never run. I actually think even if you are a walker, it's it's probably, unless you have a lot of joint injuries in your lower body, it's a good idea to run a little bit. Like run sprints once in a while. Run a little sprint. You run a little sprint from here to there. You run a little sprint up the hill. You run a little sprint up the stairs. Those kind of things are good. And I think that running in moderation with like little running sprints and running in moderation, good. Lots of long distance running, only if you love it. Only if you love it. That's basically where I am with this. Um, Carol says my running workout days are over. Exactly. Exactly. Marissa says I'm on team walking slow with good posture. Excellent. Mom says walk and sprint and dance works for me and my knees. Exactly. Yes. Marissa says running hurts my knees. Yes, I think running hurts a lot of people's knees. This is very relatable. If running hurts your knees, you are not alone. And there's a number of things that could be going on with that. And to be honest, if running hurts your knees, it's pointing out that there's some imbalance going on in your body that could be potentially addressed. And I mean, in the case of Marissa specifically, like there may be an imbalance that's always going to be there. And that may be for not just Marissa, just saying there may be an imbalance that's there that's going to make it that running's just not a good idea. So, anyway, if you're running and it starts to hurt, you should not be running, at least for a while. That's my opinion. All right. You ready for the next one? Okay. This one, the next exercise is the twisting ab machines. Have you ever tried the twisting ab machine at the gym? You can see it right here. This is one example. There's actually a lot of these at the gym. I'm talking about some kind of abs machine at the gym where you usually are seated usually, and it's usually asking you to do some kind of twisting action while you're seated. Have you tried this? I have tried, I generally like, I actually like going to the gym. I know that I am leading a fitness app for working out at home, so you don't really need the gym. I actually really like to go to the gym. I do. I like to go to the gym. I do work out at home a lot too, but I like to go to the gym. And uh-oh, I'm messing up my sharing again. Okay. When I go to the gym, I'm kind of like a gym connoisseur or something. I like to just try everything at the gym and see, um, how it works. I want to try all the new stuff. I want to try all the equipment. I want to just try everything. Even if I think it's kind of like, what is this? I'm still going to try it just because I want to see how it goes. I want to see how it feels. I want to see why would someone ever even want to do this? Like that's basically that's just the kind of person I am. So, okay. Marissa has tried. Marissa says, "Yeah, I live in Cripville." Oh, Lisa B. Okay, let's stop running a little bit more for a second. Lisa B says, "I loved running, and I'm getting back on getting there after having cervical abscess requiring ER neurosurgery, and was getting there and fell and broke my back. Oh my gosh, that messed up my peroneal nerve. Okay, see, this is a perfect example. I just have to say, Lisa B is a perfect example of someone is running the exercise that I would recommend for Lisa B. No, right? You have all of these issues, but Lisa B loves running. She loves running. Her goal is to be able to run. She wants to run because she loves it. If That's awesome. And I actually think it gives her a fitness goal. It gives her something that she's training for because she wants to be able to run. So Lisa B is in class on the regular, doing her strength training, doing her mobility training, and whatever else she's probably doing physical therapy and whatever else that she's doing. She's doing all the things because she wants to be able to run. So from that perspective, running is actually really healthy for Lisa B because it's inspirational to her and it's motivational to her and she wants to be able to do it. So she's going to do all these other things to make sure that she can do it. So from that perspective, I think Aaron's saying Lisa B's a trooper. Totally, totally. And I'm just saying that like Lisa B, you're a great example of someone who running is really, really serving. Because even if I would say, oh, you might hurt yourself running, that's not the point. It's not the point. The point is you want to do it and you love doing it. And so it's a driving force for you. And I absolutely love that for you. Okay. Now let's talk about this. Let's talk about this contraption. Okay, this contraption it makes me laugh. All right. This is my perspective on a lot of the machines at the gym. Not all of them. I like some machines at the gym. This machine, people want abs. So they think that if they do this, they're going to get abs. And they're not. They're not. They're just not. Okay. I'm sure there's a purpose for this machine. I'm sure I would never put someone on this machine, and I would not do this machine as part of my personal workout. I would be afraid of hurting myself, to be totally honest with you. When you twist your spine, you are supposed to twist your spine. I think you can see my mouse. You're supposed to twist your spine. Oh, I could do it with my finger. From bra strap level and up. Oh, you can't see my finger that high. Bra strap level and up. Twists. Below your bra strap, not really. Definitely not with weight. It's okay if it twists a little bit in a body weight environment, but below your thoracic spine, your lumbar spine isn't really supposed to be twisting, and definitely not with a big heavy weight. And definitely not when it's in flexion. So this person in this video is doing a really good job of sitting up really straight. This person has awesome posture, but most of us don't, right? I just showed that with that kyphosis video. Most of us have a rounded over spine. If you do this exercise with a rounded over spine, it's asking for trouble. You are way more likely to hurt yourself. And most people have that. So if you're going to do this exercise, if you love this move, don't go too heavy. Keep it light. That would be my suggestion. And I personally think this move, not worth it. Not. Not only is it a waste of time, you're way more likely. It's more harm than good, is basically. I shouldn't say it like that. It's not that you are really, really likely to get hurt. It's just that cost benefit analysis, it's like not worth it on this machine. There's so many other things that you could do to train rotation that are going to be way more beneficial than this, that are way less likely to hurt you. The only benefit of doing this machine is that there's a picture on it, and so it's obvious what to do. And so if you have no idea what you're doing and you're at the gym and here's a picture and a place to sit and all I have to do is do the only thing this machine will allow me to do, okay. But I still wouldn't recommend it for you. I'd rather you do crunches, honestly. Lisa B says they have this one in your machine, they rarely use it. Yeah, I mean, again, if you love this machine because it's like feels really good for you or something, okay, do it. I don't have a problem with it. I just think, eh, not a fan. I'm just not a fan. Not a fan. I'm gonna say outdated. Um, this is what I would suggest. If you want to use a machine at the gym to do rotation, the cable machine is an amazing tool for rotation. So this is the cable machine. It can look a lot different than this, but this is one version of it. And you can see this cable machine maybe only keeps the weight at the very top, but a lot of times the cable machine, you can adjust it and it can be, oh yeah, no, you can see it right here, it adjusts. So you can move this down. So you can move this cable thing down to anywhere high or low. Now, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. When you train rotation in your body, there are 3 steps to training rotation. The first step in training rotation is resisting rotation. So that means that you put some kind of rotational force on your body, but you don't actually rotate. You just have a rotational force. So what that would look like would be to take that cable machine face sideways, so the cable would be on your side. You hold the cable in front of you and just either just hold it, or maybe you reach it out and bring it in, but you're not rotating, you're just holding it. Or maybe you sidestep away from the cable machine and you sidestep toward the cable machine, but you're not rotating. You're just resisting rotation. In bodyweight training, that looks like holding a plank and lifting up one arm or one leg or something like that, because your body wants to rotate, so you have to do work to keep it from rotating, right? Okay, that's step 1 in rotational training. Step 2 in rotational training means that you keep your hips and your shoulders facing the same direction. So you rotate your whole body, hips and shoulders. So when I'm doing this on the cable machine, I am stepping my feet, step, step, turn, step, step, turn. My hips and shoulders turn, and my hips and shoulders turn together. That's step 2 with training rotation. You need to be proficient at steps 1 and 2 before you do what's called dissociated rotation. Dissociated rotation is when you only twist, it's like power moves. You twist your hips and your shoulders separate from one another. So it's like you would hold the cable and go hips, shoulders, Get what I'm saying? It's like when you swing a baseball bat, hips, shoulders. It's like when you punch, hips, shoulders, right? All sports are dissociated rotation, but it is a more elite skill to be able to do rotation where your hips and shoulders don't face the same direction as one another. Okay. I know that might have been really far in the weeds, but the reason I'm bringing that up is because if you look at this move that I'm giving the frowny face, this is dissociated rotation. The hips are facing over here to the left, and the shoulders are facing into the machine. So this is a very advanced movement. And most of the people who use this kind of machine at the gym are beginners, right? That's the only person who, I shouldn't say it's the only person who would use that machine, but people who know what they're doing at the gym usually aren't like, they know better than to use that machine, kind of, right? So this guy, you could see he's kind of, he might be doing associated rotation. He's kind of aiming downward, but his shoulders and his hips are mostly pointing the same direction. So what I'm saying is the cable machine gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to do something that's going to be more beneficial for you, no matter which level you're at, versus this gym machine that's only advanced. Aaron says, I use the cable machine for resisting rotation and physical therapy. Yeah, exactly. It's really, really good, especially for your spine. If you have lower back problems, if you have any kind of back problems, practicing resisting rotation is a really, really good thing to practice. Okay. All right. That was a rant. Going on, going on, going on. Next exercise. Okay. The quad extension machine. All right. This is a very popular machine at the gym. This is a very, very, very popular machine. What do you think of this machine? Do you use this machine at the gym? Do you like it? Does your body like it? I'm very curious to hear your opinion of the quad extension machine. All right. I will say this is a machine I do use for myself at the gym. At the same time, I would very unlikely put a personal training client on this machine unless they had a very specific reason. There are some very specific reasons I would put somebody on this, but for my own workout, yes, I use it. And I think I'm going to give this one misunderstood. Do I think this machine has some benefits? Yes, I do. Do I think this machine can be dangerous? Yes, this machine can be dangerous. It can be very beneficial. It can also be dangerous. My suggestion for you on this machine is if you're going to use this at the gym, work your form. I mean, this is something I'm going to say about everything, but I'm just going to make sure that I'm saying this, okay? Make sure your form is great and you're not going too heavy. This machine is often referred to by trainers as the knee blaster because there are a lot of people who have hurt their knee on this machine. This machine can blast your knee. Mom says easiest piece to use. Right. People love doing this for that exact reason, is because it seems very simple, right? You take a seat, you put your feet underneath this bar, and then you kick your leg forward so that you raise the bar. It works your quads. Your quads are the fronts of your thighs. So, all right, I do think that this has benefits. At the same time, I would say, here's the thing. This is an open chain exercise. Open chain means that the part of your body that has the weight is not connected to the earth. It means that you may be seated, but this limb that has the weight is like out in space. Okay. Open chain is more dangerous than closed chain. Closed chain would be like your feet are on the ground like a squat. All right. you can see this lady in the video, her knees, it may be a little subtle for you to see it, but her knees are kind of knocking in toward one another, and her feet are maybe a little wider than her knees. That's the exact problem with this machine, is that that could hurt your knees. So when you're doing this exercise, you got to make sure, for one, I do like that she's curling her toes up. So she's dorsiflexing her feet. So if you're going to use this machine, yes, dorsiflex your feet. Also, make sure your knees are pointed in the same direction as your toes from the hip. And I would just say, be really aware of the alignment of your two legs. You don't want your knees coming in toward one another. You want your legs to be parallel to each other. Um, and you want this to be slow and controlled. This one's really easy to kind of swing, like you're kind of trying to kick it and you swing. Momentum is really bad on this. This should be slow, like super slow and extend, super slow to resist as you bend. That's what I'm talking about. Slow. I used to say this machine was no good and I didn't think it was good for anything. And then I started noticing in my life times where this exercise was actually present. Like I noticed, it honestly started when I was snowboarding. I noticed that when I am on my heel edge and I'm snowboarding, I have to actively like push out in this exact way. And so I started training my quads to be able to do more knee extension to so that I could be a more strong and durable snowboarder. And so that was what made me kind of change my perspective on this machine, actually. Um, Also, there's a lot of times you want your quads to get stronger. I will say most people are quad dominant. If you're quad dominant, that also can lead to hurting your knees. Quad dominant means that your quads are stronger than your glutes. It means that when you squat, you're mostly using your quads instead of your glutes. So if you're going to use the quad extension machine, you should do twice as much work on your glutes. Your glutes need it more than your quads. You want your glutes to be stronger than your quads. I know you like using your quads, but you need to use your glutes. So I would really encourage you to, if you're going to do the quad extension machine, train your glutes more than your quads. All right. As a alternative, I'm showing that you have this TRX exercise, practicing bending and extending your legs in the plank. This is a very advanced move, to be honest, and this is not. So I get it that this is an easy machine to use, and it's okay if you want to use it, but there are ways to train quads that are a little bit more effective. Let's just say that. Carol says I used it trying to build strength around your knee. Right. And just saying with that, it depends why your knee might need that. If your knee needs that because it got injured, and if you got injured because you're quad dominant, then I would say make sure you're also building your glute. Dondi says you used it after a knee replacement. Right, exactly. Training to build strength of the muscles around the knee. Exactly. You just got to make sure you're also training posterior chain. Cool. Okay. Moving on. Oh, we're running out of time. All right. This will be the last one. Sissy squats. All right. Sissy squats. What's a sissy squat? This is the next move. Sissy squat. A sissy squat means that you squat down with your heels off the ground. You squat with your heels off the ground. What do you think about these? Have you done these? Do you practice these? Are you into them? Now, sissy squats are a perfect example of an exercise that used to be in the fitness industry. Everyone would tell you, do not do this. And then lately in the fitness industry, there has been a change of heart about sissy squats. So I am going to give this one underrated. I think a lot of people have been demonizing sissy squats for a really long time, and it's time to recognize them for what they're good for. The person who turned me on to this is Carlos. Some of you guys know Carlos. Um, Also, I'll just say that in dance class, we do releve plie all the time, right? If you're taking bar class, it's a very normal thing to have your heels up and to bend your knees. That is normal. Now, this is not to replace a squat. It is not saying that in your normal squat that to do this. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that to intentionally choose to do a sissy squat may be a valuable thing to do. Now, this is an example of a quad extension exercise. Donna D says knees are way past the toes. Exactly, exactly. That's the reason I'm bringing this up, is because a lot of us have been told your knees should never go in front of your toes. Your knees should never go in front of your toes. Your knees should never go in front of your toes. And that may not be completely true. It is true for a regular squat. On a normal squat, you do want to sit back and not let your knees go that far forward. But there's also something to be said for dorsiflexion. Dorsiflexion is the ability for um you to in dance class we call it flexing your feet. It's like bringing your toes back towards your heels. The ability to use your strength with your knees in front of your toes is valuable. So practicing that, if your body tolerates it, is a good idea. Now, you might have a lower body injury. You might have a knee problem or a hip problem or whatever, where it hurts to do this. And if it hurts, don't do it. But there are, especially for the sake of training your legs, and there is some benefit of doing heel lifted squats. Bodybuilders often will do this it's basically taking your ankle mobility out of the equation. So for some people who have an ankle mobility issue, they're not really able to get that low in their squat because their ankles won't allow it. Sometimes they'll add an incline underneath their feet, and then they can get lower in their squat that way. Now, my question for this is why you might, if you're really trying to work hip mobility, okay, then great. I would also just say I would not add a barbell on someone's back with this personally, but a lot of people do. Um, it kind of makes your glutes not fire. So with your heels up, you're not going to get as much glute action. You're going to get a lot more quads and mostly quads. You're going to get a lot more of your thighs working instead of your glutes. So like I said, training glutes is important, but it doesn't mean that this isn't a valuable move. So I would say sissy squats is actually a decent move to be used consciously with intention. Yep. All right, we're going to skip this one. All right, and we're moving on. Okay, it's time for the move of the week. For the move of the week, I am going to give you a move in the same format. So the move of the week this week is hurdler's stretch. How many of you have practiced hurdler's stretch? All right, hurdler's stretch. This is something for me that they had us do in PE class. Hurdler stretch was totally like a PE class staple, right? What about for you? PE class? Did you have to do this one? What I'm talking about with the hurdler stretch is that your knee is wide and the foot is behind you. Knee is wide and the foot is behind you. I personally think that this hurdler stretch is probably outdated. Does that mean it's a completely bad move? No. This move is actually still used in yoga all the time. And I would suggest instead of doing the hurdler stretch to practice Janu Shirshasana. I think I said it right that time. That move is so hard for me to pronounce. Okay, you can see the difference here is that on the back leg, it is externally rotated instead of internally rotated, meaning the foot is coming in toward the thigh instead of going out and behind. Why? Why would we do one versus the other? Honestly, simply because it's safer for your knee. It is safer for your knee to be in this externally rotated position than it is to be in this internally. I'm talking about from the hip that it's rotated that way. It is much safer for your knee to do it this way than that way. So if you're doing this along with me, extend one leg, bring the other foot in so the sole of your foot's on the inside of your thigh. Turn your upper body toward your leg and bow over your leg. Erin says that she prefers the second option. Me too. Me too. I love how this model is keeping her spine mostly neutral. Good. And then sit up and switch to the other side. Janu Shir Shasana is how you say this. I always have to really focus to be able to pronounce it. Okay, and come back up. This is great for a hamstring stretch. It's definitely for hip mobility, and there's some variations we can take along the way as well. All right, and that is our stretch of the week. All right, cool. So I have some announcements from the next fitness thing. Let's do it. Oh yeah, there's Janu. There it is. Check it out. Close up. I love that one. All right, here's our announcements. Okay, this is our most exciting announcement. Our announcement is that our team leader, Edie, is now going to have her own live class starting on Wednesday. Now, this live class is basically subbing for Anna, who's out on maternity right now, but it's going to be Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific, and this class is going to be super exciting. It's basically going to be called What's Up Walk. It starts this coming Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific. So mark your calendar and go sign up right now. Go sign up for What's Up Walk. Edie is basically going to pick a topic and it's going to be about what's up with that. And that's what you're going to talk about as you walk with Edie. Edie was our guest on the show last week. She is a hoot. It's going to be so fun. Edie, Aaron's in the chat right now saying, woohoo, Edie, right? So anyway, check it out. What's Up Walk, Wednesday at 2 p.m. We're excited. Our next announcement is our TRX challenge starts on Monday. The Stronger Together with TRX. If you would like to sign up for the TRX challenge, it is not too late. I encourage you to sign up. You go to thenextfitnessthing.com/TRX. Now, if you need straps, I hooked it up so that you can get 15% off of buying straps, or if you just need an anchor, if you need some way to hook it up, I will help you with that too. So go to this, you can go to trxtrainingcreator.sjv.io.tnft. The other thing is you could use this QR code. I'm giving you options. You could use this QR code, or you can just go to the website, trxtraining.com, and use the code TRX15 Alexis at checkout, and you'll get 15% off if you just use the code. Lisa B says, if I did not have PT that day, I would go. You'll take it on demand. You're talking about Edie's class. Donna D's also saying, yay, Edie! Yay, Edie! Totally. All right. I hope to see you at this TRX challenge. It's the first time we've ever had a TRX challenge. I'm so excited about it. And I'm going to do the entire challenge with you at the same time. So join us, if you will. All right, another announcements. Our next community event is not this weekend, but next weekend. It was on Sunday. I moved it to Saturday for personal reasons. So it's now on June 20th, which is my half birthday, at 9 a.m. Pacific. So just saying, I also put the other classes in the schedule before this so that if you wanted to do like the stretch class or the bar class, you could do those first and then do the walk after because we know that that works a little bit better. So the summer solstice celebration walk, this is completely free. If you have anyone you want to invite, bring them to the nextfitnessthing.com/summer solstice. It's at June 20th, Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Lisa B wants Aaron's so excited for TRX. Me too. Lisa B says, when are the TRX classes? They are at 5 p.m. Pacific for 40 minutes, Monday through Friday. Carol says, I'm still thinking of trying TRX. Cool. I actually think it would be awesome for you, Carol. Mom says half a cake day for my half birthday. All right, half a cake day. Heck yeah. Aaron says TRX is 7 p.m. Central. Right. So it's at 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. All right. Our next announcement is this is just a reminder. Our next book club, The House in the, how do we say this? Cerulean? I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. C? Is on Sunday, June 28th at 1 p.m. Pacific with Casey. If you go to our website, which is thenextfitnessthing.com/book club, we have links to all the things like to go buy the book at the bookshop in your town, to find it, find the audiobook, all that. I did find this book on YouTube, someone just reading it. So if you want a free audiobook, maybe you can get it at your library, but otherwise you can find the audiobook on YouTube for free. Okay. And join the Discord. So if you are not in our Discord server, I'll put the link below, and I encourage you to join the Discord server so that you are in our community and you get to have all the awesome conversations and get to know everyone better, especially if you're in the TRX challenge. Make sure you're in the Discord community if you're in the TRX challenge. Also, I just want to say for those of you thinking of doing TRX, I did teach a TRX getting started class a few times. So there's several of them on demand. It's called Basics of Strength Straps or something like that with TRX. It's on Wednesdays and Fridays. So you can go back and watch those replays, and I really go through the basics of setting it up and the principles and the really basics. So if you would value that, go find those recordings and you can just watch it even if you're not doing it so that you would have an idea if it might benefit you. Okay. That brings us to the end of the show. Lisa B says, didn't you just say 5 p.m.? Yes. The TRX challenge Pacific time is 5 p.m. live, Monday through Friday. 5 p.m. live, Pacific. 5 p.m. Pacific. Lisa B's in Pacific, so it's at 5. Okay, that's it. We are at the end of the show. I'm going to put the music on. We're going to dance it out. And P.S. I just want to say I thought that I was sharing screen with myself overlaid on the screen this whole time, and it didn't translate to YouTube. I just figured out. So I'm like pointing at things that it's okay. It's an experiment. It's good. All right. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday. And I love you guys. See you soon. Love you, team.